I'm 62 years old. I started out bicycling in Buffalo. I'm going to Albany. I'm on Bike the Erie Canal in 2017. This is wonderful. I'm having a great time. The people in upstate New York are so nice.
Love Syracuse.
And your beer is so good.
Cyclotourism is the second fastest growing tourism industry. The cycling experience provides the perfect vehicle. That pace of being on the bicycle allows you to take in plenty. The local people, it's the local culture. So when you go on a cycle tour, you're doing good things for your body, mind, and soul.
You're a kid again. It's like everything is possible. You just bombing down a street, wind in your hair, although you wear a helmet now. It's the best thing.
It is the best thing.
What do you like about bike riding? It's fun. It's kind of relaxing. Yeah. It's like scenic. Yeah. Very cool.
The canal's wonderful. The canal trail is wonderful. And then you got to get on the roads, and it's nice, but close the gap.
As a person that's actually ridden the entire trail, 400 miles of it from Buffalo to Albany, in Syracuse here, we've got a tough part. 14 miles that we need to connect from Camillus, where I am, and Route 173 over to Butternut Creek Aqueduct, where DeWitt picks up. Now, I've ridden Erie Boulevard West and Erie Boulevard East, and I've taken my life in my hands on many occasions doing so.
As far as the gap, it's really tough because you've got to get on Kinney Road and then cut over Butternut Drive to East Genesee Street, and that's busy.
Genesee Street is narrow. Even though there are bike lanes, motorists don't think, they don't look, and it's a tough ride.
It's a scary trip. People with families and small kids aren't going to go from west to east through Syracuse right now because it's just not safe.
There are cars going really fast down the highways, and it's just dangerous and it's kind of scary.
The toughest part, I would say, was getting out of Syracuse. And it's a real challenge when you're riding at about 8 in the morning when everybody's trying to get to work. You know, when you're on the city streets and you lose the bike lanes, and then on top of that, you have to make left turns. It can be very dangerous.
What's interesting is that we basically paved over our history. If you drive down Erie Boulevard where the canal used to be, it looks like about 500 other cities across the U.S.
This is our hidden off-road gem. This is the towpath right here where we'd like the bike trail to continue. So it's in great shape, great shape. But this is such an integral part. Safety-wise, you need to go this way, and you've got a beautiful lock to see and interpret. You'll see how deep this was. It must have been a grand place to be. A lot of activity. It's a no-brainer. It's great to save it. It's great to save it.
I mean, I think as people know, the historic alignment of the Erie Canal now has a 6-lane 1970s highway that was built on top of it, and that identity is kind of lost in the community as a result. You know, the way people use the canal trail system locally, Old Erie Canal State Park is such a great example. People are not just walking and biking and running, but they're out talking, socializing. Unfortunately, that stops right at that existing trailhead now. If that idea could be continued through the community so that more people have immediate access to it, that becomes that main street, that third place.
Good morning. Morning.
And I think that's really what's so unique about this project, and what's unique about New York State is if you combine, you know, the Erie Canal, the Hudson Valley, and the Champlain Valley, it's the history of New York State. And to bring that back actually connects these communities in a way that they were once very connected. And I think it's really going to change the way people experience as residents, as visitors, as businesses, that all of that can be connected in such a easy to use and user-friendly way.
The Erie Canal connects all of our communities, so what benefits DeWitt is going to benefit all the communities along the canal, including Chittenango and including the museum.
You know, being a local person, I grew up here. I fished on the canal. I rode my bicycle out here before it was even a state park. And so we kind of take things for granted until we have our perspective adjusted by people from different states, different countries. There was just people here that visited my blacksmith shop that were on the path from Germany. When I said, well, what brought you here? And he looked at me like, well, it's the most famous canal in the world, isn't it? And it was. In the beginning, it was the 8th wonder of the world. It was the longest contiguous canal in the world when it was built. It's being rediscovered, and I think the mode of rediscovery is the bicycles. And it's great to see.
If we can bring some of that back and to reimagine, as we're trying to, the boulevard with a trail down the center median, which public opinion widely has supported, design that facility so it echoes the architecture of the canal, replicating ideas like canal stonework, and tying the theme of the canal through that trail. The Empire State Trail is one of the most amazing initiatives of its kind, not just here in New York State, but nationally and internationally. $200 million commitment, the leadership of the governor, support of all the state agencies involved in the program. We've never had a moment like this here in New York State, and what we're about to do in these next few years is extraordinary.